lot of things that we talk about here on the Coast Life Couch revolve around social media, influencers, things like that. But there's a group of influencers that often rub me the wrong way, at least, and that is a lot of mom influencers. A lot of their content is great, but anytime you see kids' faces on social media, especially really little guys, I don't know, some little warning bells go off.
It all comes to me with, how do you feel about child labor laws?
Well, yeah.
To an extent, but Tennessee is tackling this issue and they're taking it quite serious. Moms and other influencers who feature their kids in online content are soon going to be required to pay those children a portion of the money that they make.
As they should.
This is from Senate Bill 1469. It's headed to the governor's desk after passing both the House and Senate. The bill was modeled after similar laws in other states, and one of the people that is pushing this bill, Paige Wally, a Republican out of Tennessee, says, quote, "We're not having kids in coal mines and sweatshops anymore, but we are having kids who, in the digital age, are being monetized for content." And so I do think it is fair. This is no different than
Totally fair.
a child actor. This is no different than any of this stuff. If their actions and the work they're doing is helping produce money, they should be entitled to some portion of that money.
Yeah, I feel like there need to be, and this is, in my opinion, just kind of step one of a lot of rules that should be in place for children on social media, especially in sort of that influencer role, especially when it's kind of their parents in some ways exploiting them. One of my favorite like couples and parent content creators, they never show their daughter's face. She's a baby now, like she was pretty recently born, but they always just put a bow in the husband's hair and he plays the husband and their baby, and like they give her kind of a voice that way, and it's really, really funny, and there's a lot of respect online for them as they don't show her. You don't know who's consuming that content, especially when you kind of have that preteen to 17 aged group being presented online. You don't know who's consuming that content, and there's a lot of parents that don't care. They don't care because that money is coming in and it is racking up, and it does not matter, in their opinion, who are the people that are consuming some of that content.
But even if they're all on the same page, they are doing
the
work.
Kids are doing the work.
They are a part of the reason that people are tuning in. So if they're going to be doing
a lot of times.
If they're going to be doing it, they should be protected. They should be entitled to a certain amount of the revenue from that. There should probably be rules about the amount of hours that somebody can be doing that stuff at any given time on any given day, just like they regulate the actual film and TV industry where you can only be doing it for a certain amount of time. It is, in effect, just the smallest version of doing those same things, and they should probably have similar protections.
Yeah, I think they very much should, and those finances, I mean, it does come down to it. A lot of that should belong to the kids. If they want to put themselves through college, I mean, again, if they're kind of the star of the show, they're the reason that a lot of people are tuning in.
Even if they're ancillary, they're
there.
Part of it.
So. Exactly. So I think that is definitely a step in the right directions. But speaking of kids and finances, a new survey of parents and teens found that most believe that financial basics should start young. Savings accounts around age 13, debit cards by about 15, and even credit cards before adulthood. But the reality doesn't necessarily match that thought process. Many teens still don't have those tools, and parents say they feel behind. In fact, nearly 2/3 say that they're not where they should be in prepping their kids financially, and only about 3 out of 10 felt fully confident teaching modern money skills. Some of the toughest lessons include budgeting, that topped the list, followed by saving, understanding credit, taxes, and managing debt, all areas parents admit are hard to explain in today's complicated digital-first economy. And I think especially with things like Shopify, Klarna, like the buy now, pay later,
just with how easy it is to, with the click of a button, do something. You know, we've all seen those stories, you know, like some kid will order 300 hamburgers that show up at their mom's door because he got a hold of the phone when he was like 8, and you're like, what? But I also think that there's a chance to do this. This is very important, the actual economics. But there are things you can do in the lead up to these things with younger children that also sort of set the stage. Things like the marshmallow test. Have you ever seen that, where like they'll put a marshmallow in front of a kid and they'll say, you can have this one right now, or if you wait until I come back, I'll give you 2 marshmallows. And then, you know, some of the kids will immediately devour the one marshmallow, and some will have the patience to wait it out and get the extra marshmallow. And I do think that that is a good analog to good fiscal responsibility, understanding that a dollar saved today might be worth more down the line, and if you don't get yourself in a bad situation, you might actually have a little more advantages. So like that is almost you do it with children that then leads into conversations later about actual financial health.
Absolutely. I think too, roles like chores in the house, or anytime I think kids start to have a little bit of financial independence, money that they are earning on their own, they're going to spend it a little differently. I mean, I think I was kind of right on track here of opening a savings account when I was like 13, because it's around when I started babysitting.
Yep.
And so I was putting some money away and I was cashing some, and especially having cash on hand where you can physically see it leave your wallet, I was spending a lot less.
That's one of those things that I do worry about for people growing up, is that, and it probably happens to me now as an adult, but not having the cash on hand, and again, it's just a button you hit.
It's too easy.
It just makes it feel less tangible. It makes it, and so especially when you're teaching kids this, you need to show them the things.
Yeah.
Like
I think starting kids with cash would be great.
Even if they're doing it digitally, maybe have a list on the refrigerator that shows every transaction, so they can see like, okay, I had $25, I bought that video game, I'm now down to $3, I got to be careful with where I'm at, or maybe I need to do some more chores, or maybe I need to pick up a shift, whatever age you're talking about.
Yep, bring back the cutting grass and snow shoveling for kids, just a little something, speaking of child labor laws. But I think that is a big part of teaching kids financial responsibility. But we've got more Coast Life coming up. We've got a great event efforts that you can chime in to help keep our beaches clean ahead of a big event when we get